Have you seen it changing lately in the past few years?
My real life experiences, I have seen people from Afghanistan and the neighboring countries like Bangladesh.
Whether it is medical care or healthcare which you have identified.
So for the initiation, actually, I have started working on an app. Right now, it is in a portal stage. We have been told that the case history do play a critical factor in the diagnosis and treatment planning of the patients.
कोमल, तो मैं देख रहा हूँ कि यार आप श्री चैतन्य जूनियर कॉलेज हैदराबाद से पढ़े हैं।
Yes, sir.
ये किसने फाउंड किया था ये कॉलेज?
Sri Chaitanya Foundation.
हाँ, किसने, कौन है इसका लीडर?
So
Who initiated it?
I really don't know the name, but I've seen the posters of the family most of the time. But I really don't count on the name because it has been a while that I've been there.
Okay.
So,
So we'll just give you a hint. I think this person, returned back from overseas, and he just passed away very recently. His name is Dr. B.S. Rao.
Do you know him? Do you know him?
no, sir, but I think I should recollect on that information now.
So maybe you have seen the family picture somewhere.
Yes, sir. They used to come to our campus actually most often.
Yeah.
Not the people who founded because they were old age back then. The people, his son, daughter-in-law, they used to visit our campus for the routine assessments.
Yeah.
So
Now both the doctors of Dr. B.S. Rao, they are looking after Sri Chaitanya Group and mostly the junior colleges and the coaching institutions that they have across India.
You spent there 2 years.
Yes.
Quite strange. Anyways, how many dentists are there in India?
So we can't give a correct figure because every year the number of seats change. The number of people taking admission also change.
Approximately lakhs, crores, less than 5 lakhs, more than 5 lakhs, less than 10 lakhs, more than 10 lakhs.
So for that I will have to approximate the figure that how many dentists have died in today, how many dentists have joined today according to the Regulation Act, how many dentists have come from other nations as well to the India.
Less than 10 lakhs, more than 10 lakhs.
So okay, I will just give an approx figure. Okay, so it will be 2 lakhs per year. So it will be more than 10 lakhs.
More than 10 lakhs.
Okay,
Practicing, right?
Yes, sir.
Who are actually practicing, not like you who are coming here, sitting in a room and trying for an MBA.
So most probably more than 10 lakhs, you can say.
More than 10 lakhs. All
Sir.
right. If I say it is less than 5 lakhs?
So I don't agree with the figure because there are many people who just practice in the towns and cities and they are not counted out. We just mostly take in the consideration of the dentists who just work in the metropolitan cities.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you're saying more than 10 lakhs, right?
Yes, sir.
How many people in a day visit a dentist?
So I used to work in a clinic for the last 1 year. So the normal OPD used to be 20 to 25 patients per day. So that's the average number of patients that visit.
So don't you think we need more dentists these days, I guess, and you are coming to the MBA, so if the people like you, the young generation is moving away from, practicing this BDS towards MBA, तो shortage हो जाएगा, और एक बार shortage हो गया तो फायदा क्या है? मतलब people will be needing it.
Yes, sir. I do take consideration of your fact, but there is thing. There is a fact in economics, that is economics of sale. There are dentists who are just BDS. Then we have the MDS super specialists. A treatment is planned by many people. Like we need endodontists, periodontists to just come together and perform a treatment plan. So, but the problem in India is that you can't find them under one roof. So I want to do management just because I want to create a healthcare program and a plan or a branch in after 10 to 12 years after my post-graduation, so that I can form a clinic where I have every people under one roof and we can work in a collective manner. So we can give the public the best thing and at an affordable rate.
How do you see medical tourism spanning across India, and how has it changed greatly over the past few years?
So the medical tourism in India is mostly influenced by the fact that the medical care in India is much cheaper compared to other countries. So and the number of doctors we have is also increasing. So I think there is a significant hope in medical tourism in India as well.
Have you seen it changing lately in the past few years?
Yes, sir. Actually, I have in my real life experiences, I have seen people from Afghanistan and the neighboring countries like Bangladesh coming to India for their dental treatment. Actually, I have treated one patient. She was an old lady, around 66, 75 years old. She came to India and she wanted a complete denture, so I helped her with that. But sir, the problem arises there is the language. The people who come here, they are mostly coming here because they can't afford the treatment there and they know the native language. They are not good with English or Hindi as well. So we can provide them with treatment, but as a doctor, we need to know the concern first, and they are not able to tell us. that correctly. They will just say by the sign language, just telling is ki, okay, this is the problem. But the main problem, the main issue is not being translated to us. That's
So
the
when
thing.
you observe this gap, do you think there could be a potential answer to this if you were to solve for this, which is essentially the communication of the
Yes,
patient
sir.
being able to correctly address his or her problems and transmit it to the doctor?
Yes, sir.
From that perspective, do you think it can be handled in a different way?
Yes, sir. I think it can be, as we are working with different countries like Afghanistan. We are working. The government is giving them money for their social economic upliftment as well. So I think we can hire a translator or something like that in a government colleges, so that that thing can be done easily.
Okay.
Okay.
At this point in time, what do you think the medical tourism would be contributing towards the overall GDP of the country?
So I don't know the exact figure, but I think it does play a significant factor. Maybe it's 1 to 2%, not more than that though.
Okay. And how's the GDP of our country placed compared to the rest of the countries in the world?
So I think it's fifth or sixth.
Okay. Would you know the absolute number of the GDP?
No, sir, I don't know about that correctly.
Can you tell us the top 5 countries in this list?
So GDP.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm not that through with economics right now, so I really don't know about that figures.
If you were to estimate, looking at the overall world map,
Yes,
which
sir.
would be the countries that be contributing the most towards the GDP,
So to our GDP or as in world GDP?
over the world GDP?
So I will firstly figure USA, Canada, then I will take Russia and France and some of the EU, European Union nations maybe.
So India is not amongst the top 5.
So I think so that maybe it's 5, 6 or 7 that we will.
Okay. So I think that's where you need to get your facts correct.
Okay,
You
sir.
need to revisit that.
For sure, sir.
Okay, let us say you have done the MBA, right? And now
Yes,
you
sir.
have a plan that you want to, call everybody under one roof so that you
Yes,
can solve few problems related to whether it is medical care or healthcare which you have identified. What will be your plan? It will be it in some phases, or what are the initial start to it? How are you going to come that? How are you going to place that plan into action?
So for the initiation, actually, I've started working on an app. Right now, it is in a portal stage. So actually, working for 1 year, I have just noticed one thing, that for the third year final year internship, we have been told that the case history do play a critical factor in the diagnosis and treatment planning of the patients. But every doctors take it, but they keep it to themselves. They are not like recorded, or even the patient forgets it after some time. So I've come up with this idea that there will be a portal that will be logged in, and the security will be and the password will be with the patient. So every time the patient goes to a doctor, he can submit his diagnostics, X-rays, and every record that the patient gives to him. And afterwards, whenever he changes the doctor, it will be carry forwarded. And so there is also one thing that has come to the fake reviews on Google. What new people do is, just because they want to make their clinic look popular, they just ask people to fakely review their clinic. So in that portal, we will just tell the patient who has been there, who has that encrypted document, only they can review that doctor. So I think that will be a +1 factor. So I think so I will work on that at initial basis, and then after about 10 to 12 years, after I get a feel of corporate world, that how an organization performs, I will recruit some dentists from different organization and different specialists, and then I will help them understand ki, okay, how we will distribute the revenue, and then we'll make a clinic at a place which is accessible to people, and I think that's how we will start.
But that you can do without an MBA degree as well, I guess.
No, sir, it's just recruiting humans is a part of HR, and I think one needs a specialty in that, that one should know how we should do things, and financing and managing and marketing as well. Healthcare is not just about setting a clinic now, sir. It's all about marketing, managing the finance, managing the resource, and managing the people as well.
How much aspect do you know about marketing and everything?
Sir, when I worked in a clinic, we had a official Instagram page where we used to post the offers so that people should know. As a young generation, we are so much on the social media, so they used to come out by seeing the pamphlet. Okay, you had this offer. Okay, we are gonna come. So that was our marketing strategy. The most recommended one was mouth to mouth. That we will say patient, okay, just tell other people to come also visit us by giving the best of the service we can. So that was our marketing strategies back then. I don't know much about marketing strategy, sir, actually. That's why I want to do an MBA, so that I get the grassroots knowledge so that I can perform better in my future.
You did your BDS. There's a parallel course and a parallel degree of MBBS, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what does MBBS stand for? It's an abbreviated form, right? So, what
Yes,
does it
sir.
stand for?
It's a Bachelor in Medicine and Surgery.
Okay, Bachelor of Medicine
And
and
surgery, yes.
okay. So, why is it called like that? This MBBS.
Yes,
If
sir.
M stands for medicines, S stands for surgery.
So it actually has a Latin origin. There are some complicated words. I don't know the words that much, but it has the origin from a different language. That's why they are spelled so.
Right. And we see a gap of 2 years between your
Yes,
12th
sir.
standard and your undergraduation.
Yes, sir.
So, where was that time spent?
So actually, what happened when I completed my 12th standard, I was there for my NEET. I was preparing. The thing happened was my father passed away. I think back then I was not that smart or that responsible that I can manage my academics and my emotional status as well. So that led to the gap of 1 year. And then when I was going to the counseling, I had my femoral fracture at the root. So then I just missed my counseling once again. So that led to the 2 years of the gaps.
Tell us, how was the life prior to your father being there, a part of your family, and if there's been any significant shift post that you have observed?
So the first one is the way society looks at you. And the second one will be the economical factor of wealth, because my mom was a housewife and she's a housewife still, and my dad was the sole member of our family. So it went through shifts. I used to live in a government quarter. My father was a government employee, so we had to shift from there. We had to look for places. My brother was in 10th standard. My youngest brother was just an 8-year-old child, so I had to take care of them. My mom was bedridden, so everything just come together, and it was so emotionally exhausting for that moment. And I think that moment I realized one thing as well, that we see people as, okay, maybe they have the pension, okay, they may be living well, but the drift that happens, it can't be explained in words actually. And that's the main thing. I started working for the NGOs, and during my 5 year of graduation I worked with different people to understand their aspect of the society. I think the best one was, there is this NGO in Nagpur. They work in the red light area. So, as my mother, she used to be like, "No, you should never go to that area. I don't want to see you just beside this area working for them." But I went and I talked to them. So, we have this perception that they are working there for money. But, the stories you hear from them, they just give you a different aspect of the world, and you realize, okay, you are so much like hidden from the real society and how they behave. So I think that does play a role in my life and how it went out.
Has there been any learning from whatever experience you have had over there?
So I got this one learning, that I'm privileged enough to grow. The worst feeling in a human life is the feeling of helplessness. I mean, they want to grow, but they can't. The society will not. The rules will not. So I just get the one learning that I have to give to the society when I'm good enough. So the factor of social responsibility came in that way.
So I think you have been exposed to various social causes. Do you think
Yes, sir.
there's one social cause out of these which excites you the most that you would want to work towards?
So I would like to work for women for their upliftment. I think the widowed women, even like my mother, they need the support. When they're uneducated, they don't know how to perform in the society. And I think I need to give them education, that how they need to just do their finances, how they need to step up in their career at the mid 40s or mid 50s. And then I have to work for the underprivileged women, be the societal class like SC, STs and OVC, or the women in the red light area. I have to work for them, sir, actually.
Understood.
Okay.
Can you plan something that you can involve these people? You are saying that the
Yes, sir.
women's left behind in these areas,
Yes,
they are
sir.
not uplifted by the society. They are
Yes, sir.
viewed as a different kind of people in terms of the society. Can you plan something that once you open up a center, you can bring them? Is there some work they can do?
So I do have a plan for this. I just thought that after working 5 to 6 years in a corporate world, and after aggregating some amount that I can spend, and I want to just set up a MSME that will be mostly of this Graha Udyog stuff that they can manage and create. So I would like to just take them over and give them lessons. Okay, that's how you should make them. And I think every woman in India knows how to cook because of the social responsibility that is thrown on them, we can say. But actually, they know. So I want to do this.
Have you also been lately tracking what is happening in the world? Any global trends that you're observing?
So there have been an emergence of female power actually that was not as vivid in the past 10 years. Now females are rising in the domain of, we can say, presidents, PMs, CEOs. There is a woman factor now that was not seen in the past years.
Can you name three successful companies that come to your mind which have a female as their top leadership, or maybe a CXO or a CEO?
So the first will be Indira Nooyi. Honestly, we just uh, the second
If you could
one,
also parallelly tell us that she's leading which firm as
the
well.
PepsiCo, sir.
Right.
So one with the Indira Nooyi PepsiCo. So I do know, but I don't know the real name. The CEO of Sugar, and there's a CEO
Sugar
of,
Cosmetics.
yes, sir, and the CEO of Nykaa. I don't know the name actually. I will just get into that. I do. I'm just not confirm of the name actually. I don't want to give the incorrect answer.
Understood. What do you think worked out differently for these women, which has happened in the later times, versus whatever you used to see in the past? I think there haven't been so many leading females.
Yes, sir.
So, what do you think has worked differently for these?
So I think one of the roles is understand the males also understanding that the females is also equal workforce, and they have, it's not about that if I am going forward a woman should support me. Now the males are also rising that if she wants to grow I will also support her. So I think the change of idea is causing the effect.
Understood. So, you mostly feel that there has been a family backing, a
Yes,
support
sir.
from their near and dear ones,
Yes,
which
sir.
has enabled them.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I think so that is enough about the, woman power and everything.
Yes,
We
sir.
understand that you have had a lot of thing in your life, right, which have made you learn all these things or see these aspects of the society. But now ultimately the point is that you're leaving BDS and you're coming to an MBA,
Yes, sir.
right? And where we see that there is a big drawback for you because you are still at a very start point of this. You don't know the top five countries contributing to the GDP,
Yes,
right?
sir.
When we talk about the business terms, you're not able to name three women leading a company. You don't know the
Yes, sir.
name right now, right? And of course, you mentioned that you're not good not so good with the economics of economic subject, right?
Yes, sir.
So already you are, I'll say, not par with the students who are going to be in your batch, I guess, right? Of
Yes,
course, you
sir.
have seen the world more than them,
Yes, sir.
but when it comes to a business school,
Hmm.
you'll be lacking in the various business terms as well. What is your plan to compete with them?
So the plan is being a BDS graduate, I have been granted some knowledge, and the people will be having different graduation level where they were exposed to certain things. I have been not exposed to certain things, and I am ready to learn. I think that's my major factor.
Don't you think you should learn some more about how the business administratives work and then come here?
So I think if it would have been a part of my curriculum at any stage of my life, I would have learned it.
You have worked this with this Smile Line Dental Clinic Nagpur, right?
Yes,
And you
sir.
spent 1 year over there.
Yes,
How
sir.
many people were there?
So one principal dentist,
Hmm.
it was me as associate dentist.
Hmm.
We had one as a dental hygienist
Hmm.
and one receptionist.
So how many total team of 5 or 10, right?
So four people.
4 people team you have worked with. You spent 1 year over here.
Yes,
If
sir.
I were you, I would have gone to some big, hospital as well, a big hospital chain, so that I can learn some business administrative skills as well. I would have, made friends in various kind of departments, and I would have learned these things. Like, when you sit with an HR,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Of course, if you go to any big hospital chain, let us say Fortis or Max or any big names like that,
Yes,
you'll
sir.
have friends. You'll get to know that how the people are hired, and I think you can initially start direct straight away helping these people, right, whom you have identified that
Yes,
needs
sir.
to be needs to be helped. So I
Yes,
can you
sir.
should straight away start with that. Why going towards the MBA?
So the MBA was much more for understanding the marketing administration. Actually, it was more of understanding the management system rather than just going to an
You'll be able
organization.
to understand that more once you have a big name with you. 1 year in some good business
Yes, sir.
or 1 year with some good company where you have hundred or thousands of employees, where
Yes, sir.
everyone is doing a specific role. Because I guess when you were just 4 people, everybody was doing everything. Apart from the doctors over there, which I
Yes,
guess you
sir.
were just two. The rest girls or boys, whatever they were,
Yes, sir.
they must be doing all the parts, right? All the operations tasks for the particular hospital or a clinic, right?
Uh, They don't actually. We only need to manage it. The
So you
dental
were doing
hygiene.
the operation task as well.
Yes, sir. The thing is, the dental hygienist only do the scaling things.
Who hired those two people? Rest of apart from these two doctors?
The receptionist.
Yeah.
She just takes the name of the number and just correct the
Who
thing.
bought her?
The principal dentist.
Okay, you were not the part of that.
No, sir.
So did you try to learn that how she got connected with her and she brought her into the system?
So, so in India, it doesn't happen that you just go through a proper application procedure for the receptionist. I think the basic rule is okay, you know how to read and write, and that suffices for that.
So you both tried to expand it.
So I want to expand it. That's why I want to go for MBA and to learn everything.
Did you try to, tell the lead dentist, let's try to expand this clinic? Now I'll also help you.
So, but he didn't had the capital, and he said because of you don't know.
Capital can be raised.
But sir, I don't think that medical industry as a thing has emerged as the factor that can be asked for investment in India till now.
Okay, 20-25 people were coming at your place daily, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
said that.
Yes,
How much
sir.
do you charge from one person?
So consultancy 300 rupees.
300 rupees. How much that is in a day?
So 6,000, 7,000 rupees per.
25 into 300 is not a big number to calculate. Calculate it.
So 7,500.
7,500.
Yes, sir.
Your clinic opened for 6 days
Yes, sir.
or 7 days?
6 days, sir.
6 days. How much money in a week?
So 7,000, 42,000. It's like 44,000.
44,000 in a
Yes,
week.
yes.
How much in a month?
Sir, 1 lakh. Over 1 lakh. 1 lakh 60,000.
1,60,000. What was the salary of the receptionist?
10,000.
10,000. And you two were taking?
So principal, the dentist used to take mostly 60% of the commission.
How much is that?
So the commission actually was calculated not on the diagnosis purposes actually. He used to go for the procedure we charge for. So it was more around 1 lakh, more than that.
More than that, she's taking 1 lakh, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So she's taking 1 lakh every month, right?
Yes, sir.
As a profit?
Yes, sir.
So she has the capital, I guess, to
But,
expand.
but sir, then other expenses has come as well.
I asked you if she's taking 1 lakh as a profit.
Yes,
You
sir.
mentioned yes.
Yes,
and now
sir.
other aspects come
No,
into
sir, 1 lakh is coming in, okay? But the thing is, you have to invest in machine because dentistry is all about equipments. So you have to take up the best of the RVG machines. You have to take the best of the X-ray machines.
Don't you think there is a flow in the system? She should have kept some money for the firm and then taken the profit so that that money can be used, right? So there is a need of maintaining all those funds.
Yes, so that's what I was talking about. That the dentistry as an institution is not organized enough. So if 10 dentists work under a
आपने
one
अपना
roof,
क्लिनिक क्यों नहीं खोला जब आप देख रहे हो कि 1 लाख रुपीज आ रहा है पर मंथ
Yes,
आपने
sir.
सारा काम एक साल में सीख लिया आई गेस यू हैव
Yes, sir.
दैट background as well.
Yes,
Why
sir.
did you not open your own clinic and instead of the receptionist, you have bought on one of the women who needed you. You could help her. वो receptionist बन जाती आप clinic चलाते 1 लाख रुपए आ रहा है and follow your NGO dream. Help these women. Why are you coming here and taking a debt again on yourself? Because आप आओगे, I believe that you're from a middle class family,
Yes,
right? Like the situations you have been through. So going into an MBA, you will definitely take a loan.
yes, sir.
Right? And let us say we take you today, you are now 30-35 lakhs का आपके ऊपर लोन है, अब आप फंस गए, अब आपको यही उतारना है पहले.
Sir, I think I'm capable enough to do that in the near future.
नहीं, of course you are capable because
Yes,
you have
sir.
come a long way through. But my point is, why not go ahead, make your own clinic and just go ahead with it first.
So it's not more about the money actually.
It's not about the money. You will understand what are the shortcomings in your life. What are the shortcomings of the skills? Once you identify those skills, then coming to us and focusing more on that skills would be better. Right now, you're coming over here, you don't identify the skills which you need. Because most probably, when you start your own, let us say a small clinic, which I see that you don't require that amount of capital, all right, then you can just go ahead with that, learn, and you'll identify that what are the skills you need, and then come here and gain those skills and make it big. Why now?
So because as you say, ki why now? Because I have been in a clinic for a year and I've seen what are the shortcomings in the system.
What are the shortcomings? What are the skills you'll gain from us?
So the first is the HR one. I want to recruit people, and the second one is we are not reaping of the benefit of the economies of sale. A RVG machine can suffice for absolutely 10 to 15 dentists working under one roof. But every dentist buying one and not using it. So the person I used to work for was a recognized dentist. Actually, there are many dental clinics out there who don't even get one patient per day. So,
Okay. So you fear that you can also be the one.
no, sir, I don't fear that I could be that one.
Okay.
Tell us about some of your hobbies, maybe some extracurriculars that you have involved yourself in.
So for the my hobbies actually is mostly cooking and baking. I actually enjoy dancing as well. For the extracurricular activities, I was in the pageant show of Miss Vidarbha 2019, and then I was also in this swanning event, and I also got the best post award for that.
What is the folk dance of Nagpur?
So we don't have a folk dance in Nagpur. It mostly we have this plateau area and tribal area there, so they have this Gondi dance actually. It's not a Nagpur dance so proper.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything special about the Nagpur dance or dhol?
Nagpur dance or dhol?
There is some kind of difference Nagpur brings की जिसको देख के like we if we see Bangla we say it's Punjabi, right? Ethnics. Anything specific to Nagpur?
So it's not specific to Nagpur in per se. It's more about the Nagpur district. So in the tribal areas, they do use this dhol that is made up of this animal skin, and they play it, and the tribes they just revolve around it and dance. They are same.
So you were also winner of the women's inter-college cricket tournament 2022.
Yes, sir.
All right. So do you like cricket?
Oh, no, sir.
No.
I was asked to join because of my height. So because that was underarm cricket.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had this upper hand in that. That's why I was asked to join there.
All right.
Does the Chota Nagpur plateau runs across now?
No, sir.
Where is it situated?
So it's mostly in the Jharkhand and Odisha belt actually.
Have you also been lately tracking what is happening between Israel and Palestine?
Yes, sir.
What are your views on this?
So I think mostly the conflict arises because of the difference in ideology and the difference in the past things that have happened. I think there is a need of bilateral talks. The Hamas organization is bringing its own things to the table, while the Israeli government is accepting their own fate that okay, these are our rules. But they both are not standing together, sitting together just to make their point of view and agreeing to things. I think the civilians are getting hurt out of this. I think there is a need that they should just come together and come to a solution instead.
So whatever positioning has been maintained by us, India as a country, do you think that's the right? If you were supposed to be the Prime Minister of India,
Yes,
would that be the position that you would maintain, or would there be any change in your stance?
So I would have maintained the same position actually. And as per going by the past foreign policy of the India, we have decided we won't be interfering in the domestic affairs of the people. So I think that's the good approach.
You think it's a domestic affair or an international affair?
So it's mostly a domestic affair. It has become an international affair now, but I think we should not interfere in the domestic politics that is happening.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
From our understanding, whatever you talked about, we
Yes, sir.
understood that you have been a strong proponent of women empowerment,
Yes, sir.
right, and humankind in general.
Oh, yes, sir.
So now this has definitely become an issue which is affecting humankind and is impacting the lives of so many people, whether those
Yes,
are
sir.
Palestinian Muslims or Israeli Jews.
Yes, sir.
So you think this is the right stance to maintain from us as a country?
So we can just ask them to hold the bilateral talk, but it's all about the Israeli government and the Hamas organization to make a talk. We literally can't force them to do anything. So I think the bigger organizations should make the talk. We can vote at that time, but we initiating the talks or we forcing them into won't make anything happen. I think so.
All right. I guess we're done. Any more questions here?
Thank you.
All right. ठीक है.